The ability of Kodak to overcome hardship and reinvent itself is demonstrated by the business's path from bankruptcy to regaining its position as a billion-dollar company. This journey is a story of resiliency and reinvention. Throughout the bulk of the 20th century, Kodak was a dominant force in the photographic industry on a global scale. This was especially true in the international market. Strong leadership, strategic pivots into new markets, and the usage of its huge portfolio of intellectual property were the factors that contributed to the success of this endeavor. Decline and bankruptcy. A. Eastman. Within the realm of photography during the 20th century, Kodak was a name that was almost universally recognized. One of the most notable aspects of the corporation was the leading position it held in the film industry. In spite of the fact that it had developed the very first digital camera in 1975, Kodak was hesitant to adopt digital photography. This was a very surprising development. Concerns were raised by the company regarding the potential for digital photography to cause harm to its extremely important film industry. A digital revolution took place in the latter part of the 1990s and the early 2000s, which resulted in the traditional film market being disrupted. It turned out that this reluctance to change was very expensive. Digital cameras, mobile phones that come equipped with cameras, and online photo-sharing platforms are some of the innovations that have contributed to the rapid decline of Kodak's market share and revenue in a relatively short period of time. In 2012, Kodak filed for protection under Chapter 11 of the United States Bankruptcy Code, marking the culmination of its decline in response to advances in both the market and the technology sector. It was the company's inability to properly pivot and the weight of mounting debt that caused it to struggle, which ultimately led to the filing of the bankruptcy petition. Reinvention and strategy shift. After successfully escaping bankruptcy, Kodak embarked on a strategic transformation with the intention of abandoning its past as a photography company and redefining itself as a business that is driven by innovative technologies. This transformation was an attempt to recast Kodak as an enterprise that is driven by innovation. As a means of assuring that it will continue to be profitable over the course of the long term, the company shifted its focus to industries that are more stable and are experiencing reasonably considerable growth. Printing technology was one of the key areas of attention for Kodak, and the company made use of its expertise in imaging to develop novel solutions in this field. Additionally, Kodak went on to form a new business venture known as Kodak Alaris. This company is focused on the provision of business-oriented products and services, including digital cameras, scanners, and image services. This was done after the corporation had finished the process of separating its consumer imaging segment from its other operations. The multidimensional reinvention of Kodak exemplified the company's capacity to shift its focus away from its traditional markets and to adjust to emerging opportunities in the fields of technology and commercial services. Kodak's rebirth and stock surge. As a result of the statement that the company will be initiating new endeavors, such as its pharmaceutical production project, the stock price of Kodak experienced a significant price increase from its prior level. Despite this, a considerable number of these ambitious endeavors, such as the pharmaceutical facility, were derailed by delays and regulatory hurdles, which prevented them from reaching their full potential. Another example of this is the pharmaceutical facility. The pharmaceutical facility was one of these endeavors that was undertaken. One facility that serves as a good example of this is the pharmaceutical production plant. It is via the explanation of how adaptability can be achieved that this narrative demonstrates the importance of adaptability. It serves as an example of how even well-established firms may continue to flourish and develop by embracing innovation and evaluating possibilities in growing markets that reach beyond their traditional regions of operation. This is an example that serves as an illustration. an illustration of the concept that even the most prosperous firms are able to adjust to shifting conditions and expand over the course of time is provided by this business. Challenges and the future. There was a large boost in the stock price of Kodak as a consequence of the announcement that the business will be engaging in new endeavors, such as the pharmaceutical production project that it is currently working on. Notwithstanding this, a significant number of these ambitious endeavors, such as the pharmaceutical facility, were delayed by delays and regulatory impediments, which prevented them from attaining their full potential. By illustrating how even well-established organizations may continue to thrive and expand by embracing innovation and researching potential in growing markets that reach beyond their typical industries, the narrative brings attention to the relevance of adaptation. This exemplifies how adaptability can be a significant tool in some situations. This exemplifies the idea that even the most successful businesses are able to adapt to changing circumstances and grow over time. Key takeaways. The failure of Kodak to adapt to the revolution in digital photography, despite the fact that the business was a pioneer in the field, was the cause of the company's collapse. Kodak was a pioneer in the industry. They spent a disproportionate lot of time clinging to their prosperous film industry, which allowed their rivals to establish a dominant position in the digital domain. Kodak was able to successfully pivot after filing for bankruptcy in 2012. This was accomplished by capitalizing on its enormous portfolio of intellectual property, selling patents in order to earn finances, and focusing on other industries that are seeing significant growth. Prior to expanding into the pharmaceutical manufacturing sector with the purpose of generating vital substance components for pharmaceutical products, the company moved its focus from consumer imaging to specialized industries such as commercial printing. After that, the company expanded into the pharmaceutical manufacturing sector. Kodak was able to reinvent itself, which demonstrates the company's resilience and determination to explore a variety of industries in order to ensure its continued existence and growth. Despite the fact that these attempts were met with obstacles, such as regulatory scrutiny and delays in implementation, Kodak succeeded in reinventing itself. Thanks for watching and subscribing channel.